Everyone. Today I want to talk about something we rarely celebrate, but deeply admire when we see it in others. The silent power of doing hard things no one sees. We live in a world that rewards visibility, likes, followers, applause. But some of the most meaningful, most powerful acts are the ones that happen in silence. These are the difficult choices made in the dark, the unseen sacrifices, the quiet endurance, the long nights, the private battles, and the lonely discipline no one claps for. We live in a time where visibility is often equated with worth. The more followers, likes, or public accolades someone receives, the more successful we assume they are. But this belief misses a profound truth, that the most valuable work is often done away from the spotlight. There is a quiet heroism in the efforts that go unnoticed, the person who consistently shows up to work without recognition, the student who studies in silence while others are celebrated, the individual who battles private struggles while maintaining grace on the outside. These are not moments that make headlines, but they are the threads that hold families together, drive personal transformation, and build legacies. Just because no one sees your effort doesn't mean it lacks power. Some of the most significant progress in life is internal. Changes in mindset, discipline, emotional strength, and commitment to values. These things don't come with a certificate or social media post, yet they're often the very foundations of greatness. It's important to understand that visibility can be deceiving. What is seen is not always what matters most. Often those who remain unseen are doing the hardest, most meaningful work of all. And while the world may not immediately recognize this, the effects of that silent effort ripple outward in ways far greater than applause ever could. There's something profoundly transformative about putting in the effort when no one is watching, when there's no immediate reward, no encouragement, and no guarantee of recognition. Silent hard work demands a level of self-motivation and inner strength that cannot be faked or borrowed. It forces you to confront your limits, push past your comfort zone, and keep going in the face of fatigue, boredom, or doubt. Over time, this kind of labor becomes less about the task itself and more about the person you are becoming in the process. Each repetition, each quiet choice to persist slowly reshapes your identity. It teaches patience because results don't come quickly. It teaches humility because no one is cheering you on. It teaches focus because distractions constantly tempt you to quit. And it teaches responsibility because you realize that progress depends on your consistency, not on outside validation. Silent hard work doesn't just build skills, it builds the mental toughness and emotional resilience that prepare you for greater challenges ahead. It's in those unnoticed hours of effort that a person's character is tested and refined. You learn how to stay grounded, how to trust yourself, and how to stay committed to something bigger than instant gratification. The beauty of silent hard work is that its reward is often not visible on the outside, but deeply felt within. You emerge stronger, more confident, and more capable, not because someone told you so, but because you earned it in the quietest, hardest way possible. There is a kind of growth that cannot happen in crowds or noise. It requires solitude, stillness, and space to unfold. In solitude, we are forced to confront ourselves honestly, without the masks we wear for others or the distractions we use to avoid discomfort. This is where real change begins. When no one is watching and there's no performance to put on, we start to hear our true thoughts, recognize our deepest fears, and uncover the beliefs that have been quietly shaping our action. These private moments, sitting with failure, wrestling with doubt, questioning purpose, are uncomfortable, but they are also sacred. They are the birthplace of self-awareness and transformation. Growth doesn't always come from a mentor, a book, or a motivational talk. Sometimes it comes in the silence after a setback, the reflection during a long walk, or the quiet decision to try again after a personal disappointment. In solitude, we learn to rely on our own voice, to build inner trust, and to strengthen our emotional independence. The world often encourages us to stay busy, stay connected, and stay visible. But some of our most powerful progress happens when we pull away for a while, not to escape life, but to understand it more deeply. It's in these quiet seasons that we develop the inner maturity to handle success, the resilience to face adversity, and the clarity to pursue what truly matters. Growth that is earned in solitude is not loud or flashy, but it is deep, lasting, and authentic. All around us, lives are being held together by people whose sacrifices often go unnoticed. These are the quiet contributors, the ones who give more than they take, who put others first, not for praise, but out of love, duty, or sheer determination. The parent who skips meals so their child can eat better, the sibling who takes on extra responsibilities without complaint, the friend who listens even when their own heart is breaking. These are not grand gestures broadcast to the world, but daily acts of devotion that quietly hold families, relationships, and communities together. Their effort doesn't come with trophies or standing ovations, yet without it, so much would fall apart. These unseen sacrifices are the backbone of stability. They demand emotional strength, financial restraint, patience, and a level of selflessness that few acknowledge. What's remarkable is that these individuals rarely seek recognition. They do what needs to be done because they care, because they believe in something bigger than themselves. Their actions remind us that real love and leadership often look like quiet persistence, not loud declarations. While others may chase titles or attention, those who make unseen sacrifices choose to support others silently, often at great personal cost. Their power lies not in being celebrated, but in being dependable, showing up when it matters most, especially when no one is watching. These are the people who shape lives, sometimes without ever knowing the full extent of their impact. Integrity isn't something that's demonstrated only when others are watching. It's revealed most clearly when no one is. It's in those quiet, often overlooked moments that a person's true character comes to light. When there's no reward at stake, no applause to earn, no reputation to protect, the decisions we make are guided solely by our values. That's when integrity is tested, when cutting corners is easy, when telling a lie could avoid trouble, when walking away from responsibility could go unnoticed. In those moments, the question becomes, who are you when the lights are off, when the audience is gone, and when doing the right thing feels inconvenient or even costly? It's easy to act honorable when it benefits us or when others are watching, but real integrity means choosing what's right even when it's hard, even when it hurts, and especially when it won't be recognized. Because integrity in silence builds trust, not just with others, but within ourselves. It creates a deep sense of self-respect, because we know we are not living a double life. We don't have to remember what version of ourselves we show to whom, because there's only one version, the honest one. People with silent integrity carry a quiet strength. They don't need to boast or justify their actions because they know their conscience is clear. And over time, this consistency forms the foundation of true leadership deep relationships, and inner peace. In a world full of noise and image, those who practice integrity and silence are often the most reliable, the most respected, and the most powerful, not because of how loudly they speak, but because of how consistently they live their truth. Success in its truest and most lasting form is rarely built in dramatic moments of glory. It is shaped slowly, steadily, and often silently through perseverance. Silent perseverance is the kind of determination that doesn't make headlines. It's the quiet decision to keep going after a setback, to keep showing up when motivation fades, to keep believing in the process even when the results aren't yet visible. It's choosing to practice the same skill day after day, to wake up early and train without applause, to study alone while others are out having fun, to work on something meaningful when no one is checking in. This kind of persistence lacks glamour, but it's incredibly powerful. It's in these long stretches of effort marked by routine, boredom, doubt, and discomfort that excellence is formed. Silent perseverance builds consistency, and consistency compounds into while others may burn bright and fade quickly, the person who endures silently builds something lasting. They become stronger, more disciplined, more prepared for the challenges ahead. What makes this kind of perseverance even more admirable is that it's fueled from within. It's not dependent on praise, competition, or pressure. It comes from a deep personal commitment to a goal, a dream, or a calling. And though it may seem slow or invisible in the moment, over time it separates those who dabble from those who truly grow. Long-term success is rarely about one big break or one lucky chance. It's about showing up 1,000 times when no one notices. Those who understand this truth embrace the silence and let their perseverance speak louder than any words ever could. In a culture that often measures success by how many people notice you, it's easy to forget that recognition is not the true goal. Impact is. The desire to be seen, liked, or celebrated is natural, but if it becomes the main motivator, it can lead us away from what really matters. True impact doesn't always come with applause. It's found in the lives you touch, the problems you solve, the strength you lend, and the hope you give, even if those moments are never posted, quoted, or applauded. Some of the most influential people in the world never stand on stages. They are the ones who listen when someone is in pain, who quietly help someone find their footing, who plant seeds of kindness and wisdom that grow long after they've moved on. Their power isn't in their visibility, but in their ability to create real, lasting change. Choosing impact over recognition requires humility and maturity. It means being willing to do good, to work hard, and to give your best even if no one thanks you or even notices. It means finding satisfaction, not in being praised, but in knowing you made something better, helped someone grow, or stayed true to your values. Recognition is temporary, it fades, shifts, and often depends on trends and timing. But impact is enduring. It can ripple through generations, echo in small, quiet ways you may never fully witness. When we stop chasing validation and start focusing on purpose, our work becomes deeper, more meaningful, and more fulfilling. The real legacy we leave behind is not the number of people who knew our name, but the number of lives we quietly helped change. Behind every visible achievement lies the foundation of invisible effort, and at the heart of that effort is discipline, cultivated in private, far from the crowd. Private discipline is the daily decision to stay committed when there's no one to impress, no audience to applaud, and no external push to keep going. It's the early mornings, the late nights, the refusal to procrastinate, the choice to prioritize growth over comfort. It's reading when you could be scrolling, practicing when you could be relaxing, preparing when others are coasting. These choices may not look impressive in the moment, but over time, they build momentum, skill, strength, and focus that eventually show up in public. Whether it's a student acing an exam, a musician delivering a flawless performance, an entrepreneur launching a successful business, or a leader rising with quiet confidence, what the world sees as success is just the visible tip of an iceberg made of countless private discipline. The beauty of discipline is that it shapes not only what you do, but who you become. It sharpens your mindset, strengthens your willpower, and teaches you to honor commitments to yourself. And when the time finally comes for your work to be seen, it speaks volumes. Not because you tried to prove anything, but because you were prepared. That preparation, that quiet consistency is what sets apart those who rise with grace and authenticity. The public may only see the outcome, but those with wisdom know. The real story was written in the unseen hours of focused, disciplined work that no one ever applauded. Strength is often misunderstood. We tend to associate it with loud victories, bold statements, and visible power. But some of the most powerful forms of strength make no noise at all. Silent strength is the kind that holds itself together when everything around it is falling apart. It's the quiet resolve of someone who keeps going despite heartbreak, loss, or failure. It's the calm steadiness of a person who bears responsibility without needing praise, who faces adversity without complaining, and who chooses grace over aggression. This kind of strength doesn't need to be advertised because it's not built for attention. It's built for endurance. Silent strength is rooted in emotional maturity, inner peace, and deep self-awareness. It knows when to speak and when to stay still, when to act and when to wait, when to fight and when to wait, when to fight and when to wait, when to fight and when to wait. It's not weakness to remain composed. It takes incredible courage to stay grounded while others panic, to lead with compassion instead of ego, to suffer in silence without seeking sympathy. Silent strength is what allows people to carry burdens others may never understand, to show up for others even when they are struggling themselves. It's the mother who quietly sacrifices for her children, the friend who offers support without drawing attention, the individual who faces mental or physical battles daily with dignity and resolve. What makes silent strength so powerful is that it doesn't need validation. It is steady, resilient, and unwavering. In a world that often confuses volume with value, silent strength proves that true power lies in self-control, in quiet courage, and in the decision to keep moving forward, no matter how heavy the weight. Choosing to do hard things in silence is a profound expression of prioritizing purpose over praise. It means committing to the difficult, often uncomfortable work simply because it aligns with your values, goals, or sense of responsibility, not because you expect recognition or applause. This choice requires a level of self-awareness and maturity that many struggle to reach, especially in a world that constantly demands validation through social media, public approval, or external rewards. When you focus on purpose rather than praise, you are driven by a deeper motivation that sustains you through setbacks, fatigue, and discouragement. You learn to find meaning in the process itself, valuing growth, discipline, and integrity above immediate gratification. This path is not easy. It means embracing solitude, pushing through invisible struggles, and continuing to work even when the world seems indifferent. But it also brings a kind of freedom, the freedom to act authentically without being swayed by others' opinions or fleeting popularity. Doing hard things in silence cultivates resilience because your efforts are anchored in something unshakable, your own commitment to what matters most. It prepares you for long-term success and fulfillment As you become someone who can persevere regardless of circumstances or recognition, ultimately this choice molds character, builds strength, and creates a quiet power that doesn't seek the spotlight but commands respect simply by its existence. It's a testament to the idea that the most meaningful achievements often happen away from the noise, rooted in purpose and carried out with humility.